My name is Nurul Ain. I'm from Pastry Semester 1. So today I'm going to do a video about how to make a perfect cake. So there is many tips to make a perfect one, but I will only show you some of them. So let's see.
In this video, I'm gonna talk about some tips that will help you bake a successful cake. Some people prefer to do box cakes and they're very intimidated by scratch cakes, and they're not that difficult, but you have to learn the proper techniques to make them. Once you learn the process and practice, it will be really easy, so don't be scared of how to make cakes from scratch. Baking is a science, so that means that all the measurements need to be perfect for you to have a successful cake. The first tip you need to know is that all the ingredients need to be at room temperature. If you forgot that step, don't worry. You can actually make a cake really fast even if your ingredients are cold from the fridge. If your eggs are cold, you can fill a bowl with some tap water and place the eggs in the water. In around 5 to 10 minutes, your eggs will be to room temperature. If your butter is too cold, you can cut it in pieces and place it in the microwave for 5-second increments until it's softer. You don't want it melting unless it's specified by the recipe. For the milk, you can do the same, or you can leave it in the counter, and while the butter is mixing, you can let it come to room temperature. The next tip will be about measuring. You need perfect measurements in baking. To be quite honest, the best way to measure everything is by using a scale. But not everybody has one available. So if you don't have one available, make sure you use good quality tools. Once I had a very inexpensive cup to measure, and I tested it, and I found out that the measurements were not correct. So make sure that you buy good quality tools when you're baking. You want to use this type of measuring cup for your dry ingredients. You always want to scoop, not pack, and level it. Same with tablespoons and teaspoons. Then you have this type of cups that is mostly used for your liquids. You want to make sure that you do this over a table that is leveled, and you want to fill the cup up to the line of measurement you need. The next tip will be about your pans. You need to fill your pans halfway. Once they're baked, they will double in size, and if you do it too full, it will spill. If you do it too thin, you might have a pancake for a cake. That's okay if that's what you want. But be aware some recipes might change, so follow your recipe's advice. Pans come in different styles and shapes and heights. The typical standard cake is 4 inches tall, and basically you could use 2 pans of 2 inches in height for that kind of cake. I like to use the 3-inch tall pans, and that's because I can play with amounts. If I want it shorter, I just add less. If I want it taller, I could either add a color or just leave it the way it is. Just keep in mind that when you have a taller pan, it will require a longer amount of time to bake. Also, you need to know that if you have a bigger pan, you might need a heating core for the center of the cake to help the heat distribute all around the batter. You need to get the pans ready for the batter, so cover them with either spray, parchment paper, goop, or just either shortening and butter, and you can sprinkle it a little bit with some flour. Use the method you prefer, but make sure you use one so your batter doesn't stick to the pan. You should have your pans ready before you finish your batter. That way the batter doesn't have to wait for you to finish doing this. And also your oven should be turned on at the beginning of your mixing. After you mix your cake, you need to make sure that the oven is ready Batter waiting for an oven or for the pans can cause problems and it won't rise properly. My last tip for now would be don't open the oven while the cake is baking. I know we want to see and check, and some people will even say to turn around the cake. But not all ovens will do well when you do this, and your cake might actually deflate. This will change from oven to oven, so just test if your cake bakes well without having to rotate. Don't do it. I never rotate my cakes. Personally, I leave my cake in a closed oven till it's almost done, and by the time it's almost done, I can see through the window it is detaching from the pan, and I open slightly my oven, poke it to see if it's ready, and close fast if it's not ready. Leaving the door open for too long can cause a cake to deflate. The changes in temperature will affect your cake batter, and this will depend again in your oven. There are many things you can do in your baking that will ensure a successful cake.
So that's only the tips that I have give. In conclusion, if you want to bake a perfect cake, you have to follow all the tips that I gave just now in the video. You have to follow the ingredients and the recipes same as what you have seen, and you have to follow the same one. If not, you will not get a perfect cake. So that's all from me. Thank you. Bye.